What's up, everybody? I hope you are well. This is the How I Made Upstream off of the Day Sessions album. Really excited to show you what's going on under the hood here in Pro Tools. And as you can see, the session is very small and there's not a lot going on, which is why I started with this song in making these videos, because of how simple it is. It starts with an old voice memo of mine that I recorded probably maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I'm just had on my phone, but it's a storm. It's a rainstorm with some lightning, as you can hear there. There's a big spark right here and right here. And what's going on chain wise is super simple EQ band with some compression. And then I've got a virtual tape machine on it, which just gives this warmth vibe to it that I really like and really enjoy. But it continues on throughout the verse, so it's in here. There's rain in the background, some lightning. But then it fades out along with what the lyrics say.
Eventually, the clouds will break. Sunlight shines across.
And the storm's out then, and for the rest of the song. Really where the song came about is Nicole and I were whitewater rafting, and some friends took us out, and it was our first experience ever doing that, and it was exhilarating, and we were hitting these big waves and having to continue to row and lean on one another, and just continue to look ahead because we couldn't go backwards. And really, as I was weeks later looking back on the experience, I just was thinking about how if we couldn't have turned back, we couldn't have jumped ship, and how important it is to continue on and to persevere, and how the Lord's faithfulness and his goodness is in it, but also on the other side. And we can look back and we can laugh and smile and let the sun hit our faces, and know that when we're in it right now, it's not going to be like that forever. And so that's kind of where Upstream came about lyrically. And it all started with one, whitewater rafting, but then also this voice memo. And then, of course, the ukuleles come in. That's the first instrumentation. So 2 different takes, but playing the same part. And then right when verse 1 starts, an extra ukulele part comes in, and again, 2 different takes, but I'm simply picking the chords. So pretty. So that continues on up until the chorus, and then we drop. The left part is just diamonds, but then the right side's picking it. And then my favorite part of the song is this hold, where there's like this vibration happening with all the instruments. It's one of my favorite parts. And then it just goes right in to the last part of the song. Again, really short song. Here's the EQ band on the ukuleles. However, I do have to say, some of this is subject to change, or is changed in terms of the final product, because John Kennedy is the one who mixed these songs, and these are my sessions that I created to record in, and so I kind of throw on these presets that I have made, and so he ended up using like different universal audio and more Slate Digital like these, and Waves plugins when he mixed. So That's why the recording's going to sound a little bit different, because he's got some different processing going on. But in terms of the instrumentation, that's all the same. What we're looking at here is what you hear instrument-wise and vocally in the actual recording. It just will have a slightly different processing. John used some of mine, but then he used his own as well. So those are the ukuleles. Just chilling on the beach is the vibe for sure. The vibe of day sessions, really. Well, let's take a few steps back here and go to the E piano that sneaks itself in on the verse. That's my Nord electro. Really simple. Add the bass note there. We're in the key of G.
Sailing upstream, there is a current as strong, set the sails in the
I love
mast.
it.
If we don't carry on in the past,
So that E piano continues on.
eventually
Then I go to one note here.
out in big smiles, looking back on the miles.
And then it also vibrates with the ukuleles. So those together sound like this. Really fun. The other instrumentation that sneaks itself in are these Hans Zimmer strings. So we got a bass and then 3 cellos, which the cellos are doing different parts. Cello, you got a bass. That's School of Rock quote. Yeah, I was trying to remember where that came from. If you know, you know. So these are the strings. We got like a higher cello part, a lower cello part, a bass part. And then I continue on with one cello, which it then does its own vibration on the hold. Oh wait, that's that's violin. And so together with the E piano and then the ukulele is the little hold. Cool. So that's what's going on there. And then even on the strings, which are the purple tracks here, we don't even have any EQ or compression happening on them. Again, that's John adding it later on when he's mixing. And then in terms of when the oohs happen, we got a few more added instrumentation that's crucial in making it feel a little bit more complete in like the climax of the story, essentially. So we got a shaker, which I usually record my own shakers, but I couldn't find the tone I wanted. And this loop was exactly the tone I wanted. It feels like kind of heavy, but there's this mid-range presence to it that I really like. And then what also is going on is a synth bass, which is working with the strings, bass strings. So those are doing their thing together. My synth bass sound is from the System 8 Roland. So that just kind of fills it out, and that low end presence that we needed. And then one of my favorite parts, other than the like vibrating part, is this sound here that I also record on my Nord, which I call them chimes, which is following the ukulele melody that's picking. I could just listen to that all day. Yeah, I could listen to that for a long time. But if you notice here, as I'm like highlighting over this section, there's a decrease in tempo that allowed me to, when I'm recording, going from 120 BPM to 118. So we kind of slow down just a little bit in the chorus here, and then we go back to 120. But then at this one point, I needed it to slow itself down so I could do a natural retard and just allow for everything to resolve nicely and record it on time. So it, for about, looks like 5 seconds, it's decreasing to 108 BPM, beats per minute, which allows me go from 120, slowing down, and resolves. Strings hanging. And then gave it a few moments of silence. And then that's the end there. So that's the instrumentation. Again, not a lot going on, but it was all that needed to happen. You can even see here I had 2 electric tracks. I'm pretty sure I tried and recorded some parts and didn't like it. So took those out, and that was all that was needed, at least I think. And then in terms of the vocals, really simple. I mean, only one main vox, and then 2 of me taking the same melody takes, but then kind of panning them a little bit to the left and to the right, and then 1 BGV part with 2 takes of that to the left and the right. So these are the vocals. Here's the main box, and it's got some stuff on it.
No, it won't be over.
Take the verb off.
We must go through the fire, not
So that's
the
flat.
opposite way. Head straight in the storm, and we might just be one row away.
So here's the chain.
Sailing upstream,
Kind of allows it to poke out a little bit more.
there is a current. It's
Got a little de-esser, which takes out the S's. Kind of scoops them out a little bit. And then fresh air adds a little mid-range to the vocal. And then a little auto-tune. You can see the retune speed is slow. G major, really minimal.
It's strong, set the sails in the mast. If we don't carry on,
So those are those 2 extra melodies that kind of support that middle melody. They're subtle, but they're there.
Let's not go back.
And then the verb is this plate reverb. I think John kept the plate reverb on the actual vinyl mix. And I just love, this verb is just great. I've got it on wet solo, so that's why it's like so minimal on how much of the mix is actually being used. And then, I really turned down the bass on verbs, especially on vocals, and even a low cut too, because that's how reverb can really mix and cause your vocal to actually get crowded in the mix if it's mid or low range heavy on the verb. And so the little part that comes in, the little BGV part is right here. that's it. We can hear that again if we want, but with everything. Very subtle. But something worth mentioning is you could see a few aux channels here. We got a verb and a delay on the ukuleles. So again, I wanted to use the same verb on my vocal, just so that they feel like they're dancing together. And then a repeater, which is, I use the 40s tape for, it's very subtle on these ukuleles, but there's just a slight little tape delay on them. And then I use the virtual tape machine, which I didn't use that a lot on the record, but on this song, it just caused this warmness that I wanted. But really, that's it. I mean, that's the song. Very simple, very short, 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and just appreciate you tuning in and listening. And I want to make more of these under the hood on the rest of the day session songs, so make sure you check those out and let me know in the comments if there's anything else you would like to see, because this is the first one I made. So let me know if you want to see more of something in particular, or anything that I didn't do that you would benefit from. I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching, and take care.